Welcome to Align with Arianna. Of course, I am your favorite. Okay, welcome back to another episode of Align with Arianna. I am back and we are going to be talking about how to tap into your own intuition, how to use your intuition to guide you during this time. So let's face it, a lot of things are going on at this time and a lot of people have a lot of things going on, okay? So we know there's snowstorms, there's different things happening within the world. The world is changing with jobs, with relationships, or a lot of things are just coming up at this time. So one thing that's very important about how to tap into your intuition or how to increase that intuition. Now, intuition is directly connected to what people call psychic or what people call a gift to look into deeper realms of life or deeper realms into the unknown, right? Into mystical things. So within that area of those mystical things, there is a part of life that is unknown, that we cannot see. Things happen. This energy is the spirit world, okay? This energy is directly correlated to God, the universe, or what some people call the be all, end all, say all, okay? Now, like I mentioned before, if you have a spiritual system or if you are religious, this is just meant to add to that. So your intuition is normal, it's very natural, it's something that everyone has, everyone is guided to it. So you know how your grandparents used to say, like, trust your gut feeling, or you used to have that one person in your life that was always like, you know, trust your gut feeling, or that one time that you did something, you're like, oh man, I should have trusted my gut feeling. Well, that is what your intuition is. It's something that is already in you. You don't have to really like try to make it be there. It's something that is natural. This is actually connected to our flight or fight instinct. So usually if there's an instance, we have two responses, which is the fight or the flight response. So the fight, usually you're going to put up some sort of resistance, you're going to have some sort of opposition, or you can have the flight system where you tend to not react to things. So if there is an emergency or in case of emergency, you might have the ability to kind of like avoid trouble and panic and not do anything, which means it's almost like being paralyzed in a sense for the fight response. The flight response makes you more so like paralyzed, and the fight response puts you into action. So with your body having two ways to respond to different things, when you have this, it's kind of like using your intuition. Your intuition has a fight or flight, response. So during this time, your intuition is very important because it naturally kicks you into the energy of making sure you're prepared for what is to come or not prepared, or giving you advice and guiding you in the right direction to take. So that is what it's like when you work with your intuition. It's like when you work with your intuition, you get this perfect, like, personal assistance right there with you every step of the way, and it helps you to make great choices, or it helps you to stay away from near-death experiences. And some of you have actually wrote me and gave me stories about things that have happened to you by listening to your intuition. So the intuition is very, very powerful. Like I mentioned, it is directly connected to your gut, or what people say, I just have a gut feeling about something, or if you just follow your instincts or follow your gut, then this is connected to your intuition. So during this time, I want to talk about a few ways that can help you connect with your intuition and build that strength. Now, the first way of connecting with your intuition is, of course, by listening to your intuition, listening to that little small voice that comes in at whatever moment possible, whenever that moment comes in. Is very important that you listen to it. Now, I don't want you to get confused about listening or hearing particular things that might come up from the perspective of the mind versus your intuition. So here are a few ways to identify the different things that might come up, whether it's the small little voice in your head that wants you to do something, or whether it's your intuition that wants to guide you on a beautiful, loving path. So one of the ways that you can utilize your intuition or determine if it is your intuition that is actually speaking to you is, number one, your intuition will never put you in danger. It will never put you in harm's way. It will never have you do something where you are at a total loss. So I actually had a story of someone that had reached out to me before that was like, I trusted my intuition. My intuition told me to leave my job. I left my job and now I'm homeless. Now, so your intuition will never lead you on the path where you just lose everything, where you're just completely without everything, unless for whatever reason it is something as it relates to your physical endangerment or anything that resolves around that energy. But 9 times out of 10, your intuition is there to guide you on the path of love. The way you can think of it is as your spirit guides, your ancestors, the angels, the gods are with you on the path, and they are trying to make sure that you make the best step possible. So they will never put you in danger or never put you to the point or leave you out there to the point where you're just out there, okay? So that's how to know the difference between your intuition or just like a small little voice, or whatever the case may be that might go on in your head. You have to learn how to differentiate the two. But 9 times out of 10, your intuition is going to lead you on a path of love. So when you trust your intuition more, then it helps to actually make sure that you're being guided on the right path. So that one moment that you felt like, okay, well, I'm not feeling like I should take this particular car today because, you know what, maybe I should take my bicycle and ride to work, or maybe I should walk or do something instead of taking the car. Then 9 times out of 10, that's your intuition that is guiding you. Your intuition does not have like a loud voice. It's very softly. And the reason is because it's meant for you to trust something that is deeper than you, that is in your DNA, that is made with genetics. So it doesn't have a blueprint, and it's not going to yell and scream at you normally like other people would, or anything else that comes up to get your attention. It is always going to be that secret little voice that comes in, that's very quiet, that's very gentle. So when you have something that does come up, then listen to that moment. So check this out. The more you listen to your intuition, the stronger that voice will be, and your intuition gets stronger, and this will help lead you into making the right decisions in life or making the right steps. If you want to know whether you should invest on that business idea, and maybe you can't book a reading with me, or maybe my schedule is full, or whatever the case may be, then one of the ways that you can strengthen your intuition is by trusting yourself each and every step of the way. Remember, I am here as a guide. I just want to help you guys flourish on your spiritual path. I don't want to be here for you guys to constantly need me. You know, I'm on my journey, and I want you guys to be on your journey. You all are growing beautifully, and it is very important to develop that goddess energy that you have, that you are able to tap into. So trusting into your intuition each and every time you feel something, and maybe you get the validation that, wow, okay, I trust my intuition and this happened. I trust my intuition and that was right. Well, then you know to tune into that voice each and every time to gain more confidence in your decision making, and to gain more respect about your own personal power. Now, here's another thing that you can do. Another powerful way to strengthen your intuition is by using the power of the mind. Okay, so the mind is very, very powerful, and I'm going to break it down. So one of the ways that you can use your intuition is by actually giving yourself like a game or a quiz. This is one of my favorites. Well, I'm not going to say this is one of my favorites, but I really, really enjoy this particular part about strengthening my intuition. So I usually do this when I go to the gas station. So I will go to the gas station, start pumping my gas, and I will immediately just stop randomly. I won't let it fill up. Like, I will fill it up at the end, but this is a game, right? So I won't let it fill up. I let it stop, and then I check the number and see what my instincts are telling me at that time. So many of you have sent me messages, questions, responses on what does 222 mean? What does these, spiritual meanings and these spiritual numbers mean that come up? What does 1111 mean? What do these things actually mean? So when these numbers come up, one of the ways to strengthen your intuition about 1111, 222, or 1212, or any of our favorite numbers that come up where our spirit guides, our ancestors, and our angels are trying to get our attention for whatever reason, when you see those numbers, is by definitely connecting to immediately that voice that you hear, or that gut feeling that you feel. So sometimes when I don't see those spiritual messages, I'll do the gas station game. So I'll go to the gas station, I'll start pumping, and then I'll immediately stop on a number. And then whatever number it is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be an angel number. It doesn't have to be anything in specific. But I will stop on that number and I will listen to whatever message that is coming through at that moment and at that time. This has helped me tremendously. I've done this all the time. I try to see, I even do it when I go to the grocery store. So this happens a lot, even when I go to the grocery store. And sometimes on some occasions, I will literally get random numbers, and then sometimes I will get angel numbers like 1111, and that will be my total at checkout or whatever the case may be. So it helps with strengthening your intuition at that moment and at that time. It works, you guys. You got to try it. So one of my favorite ones, now this one is actually my favorite. So I'm not just saying that just to say that this is something that I do every single day and I love it, and I think you guys will love it. So for me, I am a writer. I love to write. That is how I strengthen my intuition. That is how I hear my angels. That's how I hear my inner voice. And that's how I'm able to call in my goddess energy, my purpose in life. I'm telling you, she guides me each and every way through writing. So one of the ways I strengthen my intuition is by trusting myself and having a free writing process. The free writing process is easy for me. So I would literally just start. I'll pull out my journal and begin to write whatever comes to mind and whatever is actually coming through as a message to strengthen my intuition. I listen to that, and then 9 times out of 10, I review my journal like maybe a week later, a couple of weeks later, or a couple of days later, maybe even the next day. And literally a message will come through and I will review it, and it's like, wow, my intuition is stronger. Why? Because I trust it so much that I just write down whatever comes to mind. And sometimes those things that you write down, they will play out. They will play out in different ways, different scenarios. They will play out in all kinds of ways. So always keep a pen on handy with you with a notebook and do some free writing. The free writing is really good to strengthen your intuition because it helps you to listen to the higher self or listen to your spirit guides or your angels. Like, it doesn't matter what religion that you have. If you do have a religion or if you're just spiritual, we all have something that is guiding us, okay? We all are connected to something that is amazing, because we are amazing. We are the connective tissue to whatever that is amazing. So we have a frequency, a vibration that is guiding us on our right path. So it's important that we try to trust that intuition. So a lot of people have been preparing for some snowstorms that have come through or whatever the case may be. But one of the ways is definitely strengthening your intuition could help you prepare in a lot of different ways, because there's so much advice that is out here nowadays. It's so many things that you can choose to listen to, but the power of choosing is really the actual power. So listening to your inner voice and seeing what you should connect with is going to be the most amazing, rewarding thing that you can do for yourself on your divine path, on your spiritual path, and learning how to get to your purpose and live in that purpose and your truth. So connect with your voice, connect with your inner voice, connect with your higher voice to guide you. And always call in that energy to you. Don't be afraid to connect with yourself and say, at this moment, I'm calling on my spirit guides. I'm calling on my higher self. I'm calling on me to help assist me to bring in a beautiful aspect about listening to my voice that's going to guide me into abundance today, that's going to guide me into success today, that's going to guide me to that $500,000 that I have been focusing and manifesting on for today and for the future, for now, forevermore. If you use those ways to listen and strengthen your intuition, you will be surprised how fast you grow in your spiritual growth, in your process of learning, in your process of growing and developing. I don't know if you guys know this, but I'll share this story. So for me, I actually used to go to Barnes and Noble. Okay, so this is not an ad. This is not a plug. And I would go sit down at this bookstore, and they would have thousands of books at the bookstore, of course. And I would sit down and I would literally just sit there in quietness and stillness and listen to whatever my intuition was guiding me on a book. And I promise you, each and every time that I did it, I would never go in knowing what book I wanted at the bookstore, ever. I would never know. I would never know like, oh, I want this author, this title, this book. No. And I would sit down and I would just take a few deep breaths and just literally just sit there until it was time. And spirit would just like, my higher self, my intuition would just guide me to a particular section within the bookstore area and guide me to a book. And I would sit down and I would read this book. Like I would read whatever book it was forever. And it seems like whatever was going on in my life, whether it was worry, whether it was struggle, whether I didn't have enough money, because sometimes you're growing up as a college student from a single parent mother, it was hard sometimes. It was really hard. Listening to my intuition guide me to the correct book. And I promise you, it would take away all of the things that I actually was even worrying about. And I would be so excited. And I would sit there and I would read that book. And I would complete that book. Sometimes if I didn't complete it and I needed to like absolutely purchase it, yes, I would get it. But if I did not complete that book that day, I would put the book back, come back and read the book again, okay? Because it helped me with listening to myself, and I promise it guided me so much more on my journey to like become this beautiful like goddess, this tap into my goddess energy, this Venetian energy that I have, this Venus love vibrant energy that I have. So I really hope this helps you guys in your journey. And as well, I do have a few spots that have opened up in my one-to-one coaching session that does help you build that relationship with yourself for the personal video chat. Yes, we will be connecting through video. If you would like to sign up for that, please visit www.alignwitharianna.com, as well as any personal readings to connect with people that have passed on or any information about your life. Connect with me here for more details, for more goodies, for more working your magic. Peace, love, wadu.